How are things going for everyone? Greetings from the CryptoZX channel once again. In the past 24 hours, more than 1 billion has been liquidated, including $943.3 million from long holdings that have been sold. And once more, simply a constant reminder of the reasons you should avoid leverage trading. I have stated this since the beginning of my channel, and I will continue to do so, regardless of how many times I have to say it. I vehemently oppose leverage trading platforms because, as you are aware, manipulation may occur, and that certain outside events that affect the overall market can completely destroy your position. Thus, this is the ideal illustration for us. You can see a double-digit decline for the overall market when you look across the board. As I mentioned, this is now being caused by a few external causes. As I mentioned earlier, some external factors are causing this. For example, if you're looking at XRP, it is down about 6.7%, holding better than the majority of the market, but it is down. Those things are out of our control, and that is obviously something that you need to realize because that risk factor always lies when we are looking into digital assets, even stocks to be specific. However, on a broad scale, you know that all of the gains that we were making over the last week have pretty much been gone at this point in a snap. Anyone who will publicly declare, well, the price of XRP is declining. What is this? I sincerely hope that you all will stop watching the video and look at the larger market. Zoom out. Is the entire market struggling, or is it just XRP? After that, you would respond to all of your questions. In terms of the Bitcoin comparison, we've lost roughly 2.5%. At 123.5 billion, the valuation is still over 120 billion. Additionally, the volume of trading in a 24-hour period is roughly 3.2 billion. Before we continue, though, let me quickly clarify that nothing on this channel is financial advice. Always conduct your own research and due diligence before making a cryptocurrency investment. This graphic, you see, actually captures what we've been talking about on a daily basis. If you are a regular viewer of my channel, this is an excellent illustration. Well, have a look. Interest in Bitcoin, according to a Google search, is currently at the same level as it was when it was worth $16,000. You're looking at the price of Bitcoin right now, and it's almost at its highest point ever. We're sitting at a six-figure price point, you know? You're still seeing Google searches, though, and they're at their lowest level. What do you see here? This illustrates that the revenue is not coming from retail. That is, large sums of money are pouring into Bitcoin. I've been highlighting this on the channel day in and day out. And this is an excellent illustration of it, which simply serves to further substantiate the fact that there is a significant amount of money coming in. One more thing that we can sort of take away from this is that it demonstrates how early we are right now, particularly for dollar cost average and average investors who are dollar cost averaging into their positions. Well, even though there is still a lot of fear in the market, particularly with regard to altcoins, you don't want to be ignoring this because if Bitcoin has this low level of interest and Google searches, just think of what that number will be for altcoins. It's something we don't really want to ignore, but you could go see it for yourself as well. But take a look at this. The majority leader will decide the date of the U.S. Senate's final passage vote on the Genius Act, which is scheduled for Tuesday, June 17th. Very, very large items. It goes without saying that the Genius Act is revolutionary for the entire digital asset industry, and we can see that things are going in the correct direction, particularly with regard to the passage of this bill. It must, of course, pass certain votes. Yes, but we are witnessing significant advancements every single day. However, take a look at this first ever massive XRP reserve of $500 million. It is situated in Singapore and is traded on the digital Nasdaq, so you can be sure it is traded there. To create the first extensive corporate XRP reserve in history, you intend to raise 500 million. Naturally, when you mention XRP reserve, you know that they will use this sum of money to purchase XRP on the open market. Obviously, that could also be done on the OTC, which obviously has no effect on the larger market, but you can still see that large companies are joining the market, adding XRP and creating XRP treasuries, which really shows you which direction things are moving in. Once the XRP ETF goes live, it opens up more opportunities for institutions to join, such as hedge funds, private equity firms, businesses, and so on. Thus, the project will concentrate on deep interaction with the Ripple ecosystem, using staking mechanisms to produce return and acquiring XRP tokens as a long-term strategic reserve. Furthermore, the SEC, the government, and Ripple have all petitioned the Manhattan District Court to lift the injunction in the current case and release the $125 million civil penalty that was imposed in the escrow case. They suggested giving the SEC $50 million and giving the remaining funds back to Ripple. The motion is a component of the broader case resolution endeavor. Finalize any outstanding appeals and stop the parties from suing each other again. Very, very large things are emerging. However, let's examine you and find out how the price is progressing. Guys, here it is. Take a look at the dominant situation. Today, dominance emerged. This significant reversal was caused by a powerful catalyst once more. Bitcoin is, of course, the catalyst as well. We did witness Bitcoin drop to around $102,000. You know, as you may know, Bitcoin really experienced a significant decline in dominance, going from roughly 63.75% to nearly 65%. That is a significant leap. And as we have been talking about over the past few days, we are pushing up to yearly highs. I'm sure you all understand what I mean when I say that some outside forces are the reason why Bitcoin did drop by 102,000. However, if you look at the price of XRP, it will undoubtedly have an effect. I sincerely hope you all realize that XRP is not a stable coin if you don't think it will make a difference. It will respond in tandem with the wider market. However, have a look at where we ended up. We haven't retested yet. The 23 point I apologize, the 38 indicates the Fibonacci support line, but we did drop to about 29. As you can see, there has been a significant decline in the last day. This is something you can witness for yourself. The price of XRP has dropped by almost 10%. However, as I mentioned earlier, dominance has experienced a significant quick rise, whilst Bitcoin has experienced a steep, decline. This will undoubtedly affect other cryptocurrencies, and XRP is not an exception. We're still in the 38.2 fib zone, though. From the perspective of accumulation, it goes without saying that those who were anticipating an accumulation, or the addition, of cheaper XRP to their portfolio now have another chance. However, this support is really crucial. The possibility of us dropping to $2 for the first time since April, if we don't hold on to this support, is still present. I would like you everyone to be aware of that. However, so far so good. Let's wait and see. I just wanted to let you know that while XRP is down, the market as a whole is as well. Therefore, it is simply unfair for anyone to come out and solely criticize XRP. Examining the larger market is necessary. Please share your thoughts with me below. Later, we'll see you. Been peace and cryptos.